Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com. Today's topic, Purim, Jewish year 5781, Gregorian year 2021. And we're going to take a look at Mordecai. Who is Mordecai? His career, his resume, just his actions during the book of Esther. And he is the author or the initiator of the holiday of Purim. We get that from Esther 9, verses 20 through 22. Then Mordecai recorded these events, and he sent letters to all the Jews who were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both near and far, obliging them to celebrate the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same month annually, because on those days the Jews rid themselves of their enemies, and it was a month which was turned for them from sorrow into gladness and from mourning into a holiday, that they should make them days of feasting and rejoicing and sending portions of food to one another and gifts to the poor. So this is the decree for the celebration of Purim, and it takes place, as it's stated in the verses above, in the Hebrew month of Adar on the 14th and 15th day. In the Gregorian year 2021, that starts on at sundown, Thursday, February 25th, so here in a few days, and then ends the next day on Friday, February 26th. Scripture tells us the holiday is to be celebrated annually. So again, we're going to take a look at Mordecai. Just who is Mordecai? What's his resume? What's he done? His name means little man, and we know Mordecai is from the tribe of Benjamin, and he is related to King Saul by his lineage in Kish. King Saul's father was Kish. We get those things from Esther 2, verse 5. Now there was a Jew in Susa, the citadel, whose name was Mordecai, the son of Yair, son of Shimei, son of Kish, a Benjaminite. So there's his lineage, his family tree. We also know Mordecai adopted Esther as his daughter. He was a man of God as he took care of orphans. Mordecai's role in the book of Esther is consistent with the psalmist. He was just in the defense and protection of his national people. So we'll take a look at that in Esther 2, verse 7. He was bringing up Hadassah, that is Esther, the daughter of his uncle, for she had neither father nor mother. The young woman had a beautiful figure and was lovely to look at, and when her father and her mother died, Mordecai took her as his own daughter. And then also taking a look at Psalm 82, verse 3, and this is pretty much how Mordecai operated: give justice to the weak and the fatherless, maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. So that was his role. Those were his actions throughout the course. It's just a broad overview. That's who he was. That's what he was about. And the first taste we get of that is Mordecai heard of a plot to assassinate King Xerxes or Ahasuerus, and he shared the evil plan against the king to his adopted daughter, who was now Queen Esther. And she shared the details with her husband, the king. These men were put to death when the plan was confirmed. And this is noted in Esther 2, verses 21 through 23. Didn't put those, I'm not going to put any of these verses down from here, but if you want to read those, check those out in Scripture and read the details. I want to say, too, it was two eunuchs who decided to go after the king. They had a little axe to grind, being they were eunuchs. Usually the king castrated some men to look after his harem or his women, so they wouldn't be motivated to do anything with them. So may have had something to do with it. Mordecai refused to bow down to one of the king's officials, that'd be Haman. And as a result, Haman set out to destroy Mordecai and all the Jewish people in the kingdom. So Haman wasn't content with going after just Mordecai. He wanted to get all the Jews. And out of concern for his fellow countrymen, Mordecai informed Queen Esther of Haman's written plan to eliminate the Jewish people, and that is located in Esther 4. Later, Mordecai was honored by the king and Haman, made him very happy, for saving the king's life in a plot against him. And that was in Esther 6. Haman, his temperament got the best of him. And after Haman was hanged, he, being Mordecai, was appointed and succeeded as the chief minister to King Xerxes after Haman's death at his own gallows. And we got that in Esther 8. So, a little bit about just a brief overview. That's Cliff Notes on who Mordecai was, main actions in the book of Esther. And Mordecai was respected and honored throughout the kingdom. He grew in great power and prestige, which takes us back to the beginning of the post in the verses in Esther 9. Mordecai was the initiator of the celebration of Purim. He's the one that wrote everything down, recorded these events, sent all the letters to the Jews, and he was in charge. Xerxes had him in charge as a prime minister of the kingdom. And one thing that's many commentators make this observation: God's never mentioned in the book of Esther, yet his sovereignty and plan are executing according to his will. So just because he's not mentioned, that doesn't mean he's not in charge and he doesn't have input as to what's going on. He's still working his will his way, and he preserved his people. One of many attacks on the Jewish people throughout history where bad guys look to exterminate the whole nation. There'll be another one coming at some point in the future. Then also Purim is a reminder. The spring feasts and Passover, they're only a month away, and recent history, things tend to pick up on the global scale in and around the feasts, and there's usually some activity, big ticket items, economics, politics, etc. Well, economics are mostly designated to the fall, but things will happen. Last year, the world was really introduced to COVID, and we started having all kinds of lockdowns and shutdowns about this time during the spring. So Lord only knows what's coming here in about a month. So might want to pay attention. Maybe nothing happens. I don't know. But if you're interested, please feel free to share with others at PaulthePoke.com. You can type your email address in here on the gray box, hit subscribe, and receive notification every time we put a post up. Expect current events to be picking up. They tend to around this time of the year and also in the fall. Also, this will be categorized under Purim. So you can click on Purim and you can see all the different posts going back a few years in regards to effectively is what would be the kind of the intro to the spring feasts and Passover and unleavened bread and first fruits. So those things are just around the corner. Appreciate you guys watching, listening. Hope everybody has a great evening. Talk to you later. Bye.